The Suicide Squad has been going through the multiverse to recruit new people. So who's doing that? What is his story? And over at the Crime Syndicate, the evil Justice League is about to fight off the very good guy version of Lex Luthor. Let's see what's happening there. Welcome to the Comicstorian channel, where I take some of your favorite trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Then I read them dramatically back to you. All alterations to the panel, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. Welcome back to a DC compilation video, guys. You see, every week I grab the issues that I found interesting, turn them into an episode with 2 or 3 of the issues, and then I bring them to you. And today we're going to be covering Suicide Squad issue number 5, talking about a guy that is recruiting people for Waller, and then Crime Syndicate number 5, where the evil Justice League finally meets their match. Or do they? I will put a link to the last episodes down below so you can watch the whole story up to this point. And if you like these videos and you want us to continue, please consider hitting that subscribe button, smashing that like button, and checking us out over at Patreon, where you get to vote on what's happening next. Now, let's get into Suicide Squad number 5. Field Report number 4813. My name is Robert Du Bois. My brother Mickey and I grew up dreaming of one thing, and one thing only: war. As soon as Mickey was 18, he enlisted in me. I ran. I wasn't brave like him, nor strong like him. Mickey died defending our freedom. The day he went into the ground, in his honor, I became Bloodsport. Doctors at Belle Reve tell me my grief over the loss of my brother drove me over the edge. But all I ever wanted to do was fight for freedom. For Mickey. For this, I was imprisoned. Now I've been forced to become a member of the Suicide Squad. I am trained in every form of combat, but my fists aren't enough. I have an ace in the hole. I have the ability to teleport weapons as needed, and Waller has given me an unlimited supply. So I'm a one-man Suicide Squad, which is good because I work best alone. Being in the field also keeps me out of prison and away from that oxygen thief, Peacemaker, who apparently is crazier than me. Waller has sent me to different Earths in order to bring back intel about the multiverse, and when the opportunity arises, recruit more cannon fodder for her squad. She even gave me this funny helmet and suit to protect my brain from melting from interdimensional travel. Every Earth I visit has different vibrations, so without this gift from Waller, I'd be dead. Starting to think she's sweet on me. She claims that with each new recruit, I am one step closer to freedom. But since you're reading this, Waller, I'll share what we both know. That's a lie. But as Bloodsport looks over Earth 3's metropolis, something feels different. He's been there for 48 hours, and there's been zero metahuman activity. However, like every Earth, there's a beacon of hope, the Boy Scout. Except this Boy Scout looks to be playing on the wrong side of the Justice League. This Superman goes by the name of Ultraman. Guess the capes are villains here. There's even a knockoff Batman called Owlman, and a knockoff Green Lantern going by Emerald Knight. Incredible. It's like a full-on evil Justice League. They call themselves the Crime Syndicate. Field Report 4817. So far, the metahumans that I discovered on Earth 3 already have counterparts in Waller's squad, except a Black Canary knockoff. I suppose that's just what Belle Reve needs, a louder mouth. Her name is Black Siren, similar powers to our Black Canary. Like every other human on Earth 3, she's broken bad. Waller radios in. I don't really care what you think. Secure the package and bring me Black Siren. For the 4,818th time, cut the commentary, Bloodsport. Field reports include data and intel, not running monologue. As Waller ends communication, one of the guards comes in and Waller asks for their report. And he tells her, well, that's just it. Not much to report. All of the prisoners have been locked down since Red X escaped. They've scanned every inch of the prison and nobody will be able to talk without her hearing it anymore. Now, to be honest, it seems like some of the inmates are enjoying this, others not so much. Waller tells them that if they're ever going to see Red X again, it'll be on his terms. And Rick Flag? The guard says still in the wind. And Waller sighs, stating that tomorrow's a dumpster fire then. So the guard asks what is today. She says that Red X didn't free Flag, which means that our biggest problem is in here with her. Back on Earth 3, Bloodsport continues his recon, but there's a reason why he was eager to take the job. Each Earth that he visits, he gets to see him. Mickey. On this planet, Mickey's a doctor, so maybe that isn't so bad. But as Bloodsport looks up, he sees the Starro invasion, and he says, okay, maybe it is bad. While that situation is being handled, I guess it's time for me to secure the Siren. Bloodsport manages to catch up to Black Summer, but just as he grabs her, she spins back screaming, "Hands off, creep!" He's slammed into the wall, and as he pulls himself out, he tells himself that he needs to fight fire with fire, it seems, or in this case, Sonics with Sonics. As she screams, Bloodsport fires his gun to cancel out Siren's scream until he manages to get close enough to secure her. But before he could, a voice calls out to him, and a hand grabs him by the head, telling him, "You don't belong here." After burning several of his weapons, Ultraman tells him, "I'm scanning and telling that you're from another dimension. A dimension that apparently has a lot of fun toys. Let's see how the new one holds up to ice." He switches from his heat vision to ice breath to freeze Bloodsport's shield, and Bloodsport yells into the comms, "I need the big gun!" Ultraman punches the shield, shattering it, asking, "Who is this Waller? And why does this Waller keep sending you weapons?" Bloodsport uses the guns that he has, and Ultraman laughs. "Okay, this has been great, but it's time for you to spill all of your juicy secrets. Starting with, why do you have a bomb in your skull?" Bloodsport tells him, "The bomb is insurance, but don't worry, it won't be going off now that I have the big gun." He fires a concentrated blast of kryptonite into Ultraman's chest, but as he coughs and gets back up, he inhales the fumes. Kryptonite, that is my favorite. Pure, undiluted. I love it. Not sure this Waller friend of yours gave you good intel, but kryptonite gives me power. Now let's get rid of that pesky bomb in your tiny head and knock a little sense into you. Ultraman focuses his heat vision to disable the bomb, and then he headbutts Bloodsport to the ground, knocking him out. He then tells him, "You're going to tell me where to find this Waller friend of yours, and how she can get me more of your sweet, sweet kryptonite." And yes, if you are curious, back at Crime Syndicate issue number 3, that Starro invasion did happen. So these Suicide Squad issues and Crime Syndicate issues are officially crossing directly over. But now it's time to go over to Crime Syndicate issue number 5, because, they're both happening at the exact same time, just that one's a little behind the other one. Now, when we last left off with the Crime Syndicate, they did stop the Starro invasion and kind of became superheroes to an extent, but they're not exactly the most well-intentioned superheroes. So let's go ahead and see what's been happening with that group. If you want to know what happened last time, the issue will be listed down below. With the heroes of Earth delivering their own twisted version of justice, it has come to the attention of Lex Luthor and his Legion of Justice. With their newest recruit, the Emerald Knight John Stewart, it was time to finally bring in the reckless metahumans for them to stand trial for their crimes committed while saving the planet. Lonar scans a rural central city home, stating that this is it. Red Hood, you're covering the only exit. Anything comes through and Red Hood yells, "Smackarooski!" And Lonar asks, "Is she serious?" The freed Emerald Knight Thal says, "No, not that we've seen, but I do believe she'll get the job done." Lonar looks through the scanner again, stating that this is Johnny Quick's home. He knows the terrain. Atomica's abilities to shift and alter her mass should not be underestimated. Savannah and Power Tower are closing in on the barn, and as the two quietly sneak in, Power Tower steps on something and screams, growing in size, bursting out of the barn, shouting, "Let me out of here!" Lonar tells her to calm down, but Power Tower punches through the nearby home, giving away the element of surprise. Atomica shrinks down, jumping at her, asking, "Is that really you? Damn, you've gotten big!" Power Tower smacks her away without saying a word, and as Atomica is flung into the barn, she lands on the corpse that Power Tower stepped on, asking, "Johnny, why did you hide the bodies here?" Johnny races to the escape, telling her, "It's not what you think. Well, it is what you think, but my brothers aren't very good people, But while Johnny dodges from getting stepped on by Power Tower, Red Hood lines herself up, cracking him in the face with her dopest of the new God Hammers, Kirby. Savannah calls out to Atomica to show herself, and Atomica shrinks down, jumping into her throat. Emerald Knight captures Johnny, telling him that he and Atomica are secure, and Johnny asks, "Are you sure about that?" Everyone looks over at Savannah, who is choking, and as she stops for a moment, Atomica bursts out of her neck. Johnny vibrates out of the green construct, stating, "All right, babe, time to exit stage left," and Emerald Knight instinctively turns to create a blast of green fire, engulfing Johnny, sending him to the ground. Thal looks at that lifeless body, asking, "What did you do?" And Emerald Knight says that Johnny moves so fast he just reacted. Later, up in the Legion of Justice's space station, Lex shouts that was a complete disaster. "Where the hell are..." No sooner does he finish the sentence than the teleporters activate with the team, and Lonar says that their intel was incomplete. Lex looks at Savannah. "Good lord, Savannah." Lonar tells him that she was wounded in battle and they need to temper their soldiers further, and Venus says, "Or they could have sent the whole team. It was a rural area. Her plant powers would have locked the place down." Lex asks if her assistance would have been enough. "We're not soldiers, none of us are." But while everyone argues over whether they did the right thing or not, there's a quiet buzzing that no one hears, and hundreds of mini fly drones make their way into the space station's computers and begin to short it out. Before Lex and anyone has a chance to find out about it, the station's artificial gravity is turned off and the defenses switched offline. Lex yells for everyone to brace for impact, but Ultraman, Superwoman, and Owlman crash through a window as Superwoman yells, "Emerald Knight is mine!" With an opening in the hull, the workers of the space station are being sucked out into space, and Thal tells the Emerald Knight to hurry and rescue those people. Emerald Knight says that he is much more useful in battle, but Thal tells him to go. Emerald Knight's ring says that this is excruciating. Our talents are being wasted. And Owlman tells Ultraman that Lonar has been feeding Luthor alien tech. He needs to be taken out. Ultraman lunges in, stating, "Okay, come here, space cowboy." While Thal fights with Superwoman, Power Tower throws herself in front of the breach, stating that this should hold until they make something permanent. But as Atomica throws herself, she says that she might be able to grow in size, but can she crank her mass all the way up? She hits Power Tower in the stomach like a cannonball, making the hole even bigger. But Emerald Knight catches everyone, stating, "That's everyone, where's Thal?" Owlman starts taking out Red Hood and Venus, stating, "Are you supposed to be the ones to bring me to justice? You actually believe that you're the hunters now? That's cute." Meanwhile, Lonar and Ultraman struggle outside of the space station as Ultraman's kryptonite patches kick in. He begins to feel a surge of strength. "You're going to die now!" The two crash into the nearby moon, and as Ultraman gets up, Lonar boom tubes away, with Ultraman stating, "You can run all you want, freeloader, but you're not the one we want." Back inside, Lex activates the backup battery system, rebooting the station's defenses. Then as he looks up, he sees Owlman walking towards him. He tells Atomica that they're leaving, but Atomica says that she isn't leaving without Johnny. She opens up the container, and Johnny's body falls out. She says that she has some scores that she needs to settle before leaving. And over in the main control room, Lex asks if they plan on killing him now. Owlman says that he isn't going to, but a few seconds later, Ultraman crashes through like a rocket, screaming for Luthor. And as he winds up his punch, it's stopped. He looks at what stopped him with a worried look, and a voice asks, "Why are you so shocked?" Lex's assistant takes off her glasses, tossing away her clothes so that the uniform that she was hiding underneath it, branded with the same U on it as Ultraman, can be seen. She asks, "Isn't it glad to see your cousin, Kara?" Red Hood laughs, stating, "I've got a bad feeling about this, except not in my legs. I can't feel those at all." And there you have it. Finally, someone to fight against Ultraman. But at the back of every Crime Syndicate issue, there is a side story telling us a little bit about the history of each of these evil Justice League members. Today, we're going to look at some Johnny Quick. Long ago, in 2016, the young Johnny carries another dog to the pen when his father tells him to bring the pup inside. And look at them jowls. He's going to make them some money in dem fights. Johnny stops, telling him that he doesn't want to hurt the dog. As Johnny gets closer, he opens up the pen, freeing all of the dogs, telling them to run. But Johnny's father storms out, asking, "What the hell are you doing?" Later that night, a storm begins to roll in, and though Johnny was beaten mercilessly, he isn't going to let the family get away with this. He gathers up all of the farm's fuel in the barrels, stacking them next to the house, and before he can get a light in, there's a loud crack-a-ka-thoom as lightning strikes. Lightning set off the fuel barrels, launching Johnny across the road, but not killing him. Something happened. He lost all of his hair and the chemicals, the lightning, who the hell knows, everything was faster, even his healing. But he has no control over it. Even walking, he ran through things. His mind began to operate on instinct fear, fight or flight. And when his father came out to catch him, well, he ran through him. So Johnny has been running ever since. Only thing he was good at. Only way he knew how to survive. And there you have it, an origin for Johnny Quick. And that brings us to the conclusion of today's video. Crime Syndicate and Suicide Squad issues number 5. And if you want to pick these up yourself, I highly recommend checking out a local comic book store or going over to Comicsology.com and getting yourself a digital copy. I have both of those myself. And if you want to know how we got to this point and just watch this video, don't forget to check out the links down below to issues 4 of each of those, and you can check out the playlist for the entire thing. When they're done, I'll combine them into a nice 6-issue spread of all of these issues, so you know what's going on in each of them. Thank you guys for watching Comicstorian all the way to the ending, and I will see you next time right here. Same Comicstorian channel, same Comicstorian time.